Bucky Fuller, who I served with on the Hunger Project Advisory Council for 9 years, who died not too long ago, said that 99% of who you are, you can't touch, you can't see, you can't smell. 99% of you is untouchable, unsmellable, invisible. It is what Ken Kais has called your conscious awareness. It's what looks out behind those eyeballs. What is that? It isn't cells. It's some kind of conscious awareness that you are. And make no mistake about it, you've occupied a whole lot of bodies already. Now, this is not reincarnation talk. Although, I don't know about this reincarnation. People ask me if I believe in it. I said, well, I taught in a junior high school in the inner city of Detroit for 4 years. And I saw those dead bodies come to life every day at 3 o'clock. So I believe in reincarnation, all right? Now, if 99% of who you are, you can't touch and you can't feel and you can't smell, then what is it? Who is it? Where are you? What is this thing called your essence or who you are? And where does it go? Now think of this. You were in a body. I have a little baby girl who's 11 months old. And we were all in a body that size. Well, it's only a body about this big. Got fingers only this long. You know? Got tiny, tiny little parts all over the place. I mean, she's only this tall. Now, is that her? Is that her essence? Because I have other children who are much older, and I am much older than that, and I can remember being 3 and being in a different body. Still me, still my essence there, different body, totally different, doesn't even look anything like when I was 11 months old. And then I was 13 and had a funny body at 13. But still my essence was there in a whole new body. Hairs growing all over the place that I didn't understand, all kinds of things happening to it, you know. Then hairs falling out of it later on, you know. Looking at those hairs that fall out and say, what held it in yesterday? You know, I don't know. I don't even understand that, okay? And so it's like who I am has been in many, many bodies already, all right? And that essence, you see, everything on our planet that is alive can never die. It can never die. Life doesn't die. It just transforms. It just moves on to new places and new ways of being. New ways of being. And the way of being that is the most transcendent of all is this way that comes from seeing yourself as love and only having that to give away. Only having that to give away.
Working toward becoming a spiritual being can be your specific choice today. You simply have to decide that this is the way you would like to live out the remainder of your life. With that kind of inner commitment, you're underway. It's most important for you to know, however, that being able to make miracles happen is fundamentally a result of how you choose to align yourself, how you choose to use your mind, and how much faith you have in being able to use your mind to affect your physical world. And yeah, the ancestor to every action is a thought. Here are some practical suggestions for getting in touch with yourself as a spiritual being to prove to yourself that you're more than a 5-sensory being. Write down all the things that you experience within yourself that are beyond your sense of taste, sight, hearing, smell, and touch. By keeping track of what creates your actions, you gain the insight that your actions are coming from something that isn't physical at all. To help you experience yourself as a multisensory being, test the power of your mind on something that you perceive to be difficult. Visualize yourself doing something such as improving a golf swing, not having a drink at a cocktail party, or jogging for a mile. Describe it in detail in writing or record it on tape. Do this several times and see if you can manifest the vision in your physical world. When you do, you will have broken through the limit of your 5 senses to get acquainted with the reality of your invisible world. Question: the pure physical reported by your 5 senses. Your senses tell you that the world is standing still and you are moving upon it, but you know that the world is traveling at dizzying speeds. So, Assess how much your five senses delude you about your own reality, and then ask yourself why you put so much faith in those senses. To make contact with divine or spiritual guidance just for a day, suspend your skepticism. Give yourself the gift of a quiet place in the quiet hour all to yourself. Ask for assistance in an area that is troubling you. See if you can create an image of receiving help from a guide that cares about you and wants to extend love towards you. I can guarantee you that if you make this a regular habit, you will begin to go to this magical inner place regularly, and you'll receive the guidance that has previously been so elusive. What you will be doing is making direct contact with your higher self, with the divine intelligence that is always with you. To connect with the invisible dimension we call death, keep track of your dreams, particularly those dreams in which you were in the presence of someone who was in your life but is now passed on. When you're able to make contact with those souls in your dreams and experience how real they still are, you will see that aging and death are only realities for the five sensory world. You will have an awareness of your own immortality, and you'll begin to know that those whom you've loved and who have passed on are not truly gone from your life. They are there and available for you to extend your sense of guidance in your life. Begin to know that you do not have to sleep to make contact with a soul. If you can connect with the higher dimension in your sleep, work at believing that the same connection, the same loving guidance is available to you whenever you choose to recognize it. To find models and companions for your journey, read about the personal experiences of people you admire. As you do, look for the spiritual dimension in their personal journeys. Whether your heroes be athletes, writers, clergymen, musicians, artists, or anyone else, virtually all of the truly inspired leaders in their fields have come to a point in their lives where they felt they were being guided, even if they knew that they were not alone. They began to trust divine guidance and reach levels they believed could not have been achieved otherwise. To learn new ways of sharing, examine your behavior toward those people in your life that you feel a need to dominate, be it a spouse, children, or coworkers. Whomever it may be, take some time to relate to them differently by seeing beyond their physical form to the fullness of God that is within them. Once you begin to see past the physical body of those around you, you will begin to relate to the very same invisible force that flows through you and them. To practice a life without a focus on control, attempt to help someone do something for themselves where previously you would have instructed them how to do it. We replaced the search for external power with genuine, authentic power, which is the ability to empower others to take control of their own lives. To demonstrate to yourself that you're not alone, picture yourself connected by invisible strings to everyone that you encounter. In this way, you will begin to treat others as if they are truly a part of you. You will have a tendency to extend love and help rather than feel enmity and competition. To recognize how you've been taught to hate, make a mental note of all the people whom you regard as enemies. Realize that you've been taught to hate. Few people understand the simple message, the enemy is hatred itself. Rid yourself of this hatred and fill yourself with harmony. This does not imply that you should be victimized by the ugly actions of others. What it means is that you do not have to have hatred and killing in your heart to put yourself in touch with the non-physical universe and become comfortable with the concept of nothing. Your thoughts come out of the silent, empty space of your mind. From nothingness to a thought, effect without cause. In the purely physical sense, miracles do not need a physical cause, or no. Allow yourself to experience that something out of nothing phenomenon, to put yourself in touch with your non-physical self. Remove yourself from the physical world for a brief period of time. Quietly within your own mind, let go of each of your senses as you do every night while you're sleeping. The more you are able to let go of your attachment to your body through your all-knowing, all-powerful mind, the less you will use your physical state as a way of assessing your life. To keep your focus on purpose rather than an outcome, keep your mind, body, and soul totally in the moment of your activity and all of your activities. Stop and ask yourself truly, why am I doing this? You will find that the outcome, win or reward, is just as fleeting as the moment you participate in the activity. Stay on purpose in your activities rather than focusing on the ultimate reward. To rid yourself of a preoccupation with valueless things, rethink your attitude about your possessions. Make an inventory of everything you own. Is there anything that you would die for in that list? Now think about your values, your ideals, your loved ones, and ask yourself the very same question. You know what your priorities are. They all have to do with what you think and believe, not what you own. Stay on that purpose, and you'll find yourself automatically shifting to a spiritual focus in your life. To conduct yourself on a spiritual plane, begin living one day at a time, emphasizing ethics rather than rules. Keep in mind that some of the most despicable human behavior has been conducted in the name of "I'm only following the rules." The rules or the laws told black people to sit in the back of the bus. The laws said owning a submachine gun was fine. People who live by ethics have moved away from arcane, victimizing rules. And be that kind of person for a day. Get yourself away from the rules and live ethically. To become more peaceful with yourself and the world, give yourself a quiet time alone daily for 1 week. This is extremely important and something that you will quite likely resist. Set aside 30 minutes or so to be alone and peacefully go within and quiet your mind. If you stay with it, I absolutely emphatically guarantee that you're going to begin to discover a part of yourself that will provide you with all of the loving guidance you need in every single area of your life. To befriend and cultivate your intuition, treat those inner products that crop up in your mind as welcome guests instead of labeling them as nothing but random hunches. Develop a dialogue with that intuitive voice and simply note what you learn or what happens in the next few days as a result. The next time you have an intuitive notion, choose to follow its lead. To stay focused on what you are for in life rather than what you are against, inventory everything in your life that you are opposed to. Reward your list to reflect what you are for rather than being against. Replace your being against your child's bad study habits with being for a self-disciplined young person. Remember that all that you fight weakens you. All that you support empowers you. To develop an empowering attitude towards yourself, restate everything that you dislike about who you are in positive, affirmative ways. Instead of being against your laziness, be for having more energy. By being for your energy, you will take actions correcting your laziness. This is true of all your so-called bad habits. Restate them in terms of what you are for, and you will automatically empower yourself to correct them. Spend some time every day in AW in total, complete awe. Be thankful for your liver, your hands, your invisible, incomprehensibly awesome mind. Treat all of life with reverence and awe, and know that it is all working purposefully. A few minutes a day in total awe will contribute to your spiritual awakening faster than any metaphysics course you could take. To move past anger and bitterness, isolate one person whom you feel has wronged you at some time in your life. Now, just for a few moments, instead of feeling the hate and bitterness you feel, try to imagine yourself sending them love. When you're able to send them love instead of hate, you will not only be healing yourself, but you'll be on your way to becoming a spiritual being. Remember the sage words of Buddha. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. Well, and the final task on the journey to experience real magic is to set your mind, that is, your invisible self, on the path of miraculous living.